calling it salsa. Sauce. Now they're calling it sauce. So I have to go along with the word now.
You don't like salsa too much?
Not the word. The word is not a musical terminology. It's like a tomato sauce, you know, spaghetti sauce. Much word. So I've had to join it. But they can call it whatever kind of word they want to do. For 50 years, okay? People love our music and our rhythms. The music is not receiving a lot of recognition around the world. There is no bilingual problem anymore. In fact, like Carol, my friend the other night, she said on TV, she said, if you want to live in the United States, you have to speak Spanish now.
Tito Puente, gracias para conversar con nosotros. It's a pleasure to speak with you about your life and your music here on American Roots.
Muchas gracias a ustedes. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to say hello to all my people there.
Talking rhythm with the late Tito Puente, the New York Latin Timbales King, back in 1999. Shortly after that, he performed on the American Roots July 4th program on the National Mall. Cal Tjader was born to Swedish vaudevillian parents in St. Louis in 1925 and created a path to become a jazz modernist with an unusual cultural twist as the best-known player of Latin jazz by a person not of Latin American descent. And he did it as a vibraphone player. It's an instrument where rhythm and melody can ring as one. Tjader worked with Monto Santa Maria and Willie Bobo from Tito Puente's orchestra and formed the Cal Tjader Modern Mambo Quintet, here with the 1965 recording of Soul Sauce.
baby. You're traveling on American Roots from New Orleans.
Straight No Chaser from pianist Thelonious Monk in 1951, with those wonderfully angular rhythms driven by Milt Jackson on vibraphone and Art Blakey on drums. We'll take a break for an unsquare dance here in the studio and be back with more Thelonious Monk from the perspective of his later drummer, Ben Riley, when American Roots returns.
Broadway Philadelphia announces its 2016-2017 season. 6 shows with more than 25 Tony Awards among them, including An American in Paris, The Bodyguard, The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, The King and I, Cabaret, and Fun Home. Plus 4 more blockbusters, including Mamma Mia, Hedwig and the Angry Inch, Motown the Musical, and the return of Wicked. Subscription packages available now at KimmelCenter.org. The Kimmel Center supports WHYY.
West Laurel Hill Cemetery and Funeral Home supports WHYY. West Laurel Hill is a non-profit and non-denominational historic cemetery that offers natural burials in nature sanctuary. Beautifully landscaped, this natural, or green section, offers families committed to the environment a tranquil place to honor their loved ones. Certified by the Green Burial Council, an organization dedicated to making burial sustainable for the planet. Learn more at westlaurelhill.com.
This is American Roots, where we've been giving the drummer some props. Ben Riley was born in Savannah, Georgia, but moved at a young age to New York City. Riley played the drums in the Army, and back home started playing professionally in a Sugar Hill neighborhood of Upper Manhattan. He played at the Savoy Ballroom and drummed for vocalists like Etta James, Sarah Vaughan, and Nina Simone. But it wasn't until he started playing regular gigs at a club on the Lower East Side that he met the man who would change his life and career forever, Thelonious Monk.
I worked with 3 piano players. I worked 6 weeks in the club on the East Side downtown. And Thelonious used to come in every night and go directly in the kitchen. I had no idea he was listening to me play. And when I was there with the 3rd piano player, he came in and he looked up on the bandstand and then he said to me, first time he ever spoke to me, he said, "Who you, the house drummer?" That Monday, his manager called me and said, "We're down at the studio and we're waiting for you to come down here to record with Monk." So I hung up because I thought it was a friend of mine. We used to do that to each other. We used to say, "I'm from Duke Ellington's band and I want you to come and play with us." So I thought it was one of the guys teasing me. And then it was Harry Columbia. He called back and said, "No, I'm not kidding. I'm Thelonious Monk's manager. And Thelonious wants you to record with him."
Now, how much did you know about Thelonious Monk and his music when this invitation came?
I'd been listening to him every night. I sat there at the bar, and then I would anticipate how I would do it with him.
Now, how difficult was it to play Thelonious's music? I mean, his tempos shift. He has all kinds of unusual breaks and riffs. And
I told him I thought we would rehearse. He said, "Why, you want to learn how to cheat?" He said, "You already know how to play." He said, "Play wrong and make that right."
So when you have a song or tune like Straight No Chaser that he had made a long time ago as a recording, what did you try to bring to something like that?
To swing. I tried to keep the beat, the flow of the music. Whoever was the strongest player, I would play like they played to keep the beat flowing. The first waltz that he played on Columbia Records.
Oh, Ugly Beauty?
Yeah, I made that a waltz.
Is that right?
Well, we were at the studio, and when I heard it in 3/4. So when they were running down the rehearsal, I played a waltz beat behind it. He says, "Is that how you hear that?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Keep that in."
Yeah, I think that's got to be his only waltz.
Yeah, I'm responsible for that. What was beautiful about him, he said, people think, "Oh, he's crazy." So he said, so I showed him.
How did he show crazy?
That's why he jump up and dance, or he'd walk by you and do a spin or something. And it was really, really funny. He had a wonderful sense of humor, and nobody knew it. The only body he would be relaxed with was people that he felt comfortable around. And it was made me great because we became friends. It wasn't just, "I'm working for you." In fact, I think I was the only musician that collected his money on a gig.
So he really trusted you.
Well, see, what happened is his kids in the summertime would hang out with my kids if we were going like to Boston or Philly or somewhere. He would hire a bus so that we could take our children. and let them hang out with us while we were playing.
But what I like about this, Ben, is that there's such an image of jazz and jazz musicians as these solitary figures deep in their music, but you're telling me the tale of two family men who were friends and whose kids played together around the music. That's a really great thing.
Yes, it was. The music was family.
When Thelonious passed, did you go to the funeral?
Yes, everybody was there. Oh, the church was just packed.
This was in Manhattan?
Oh, yeah, on the east side. Everybody came with good memories of him. All the musicians, all who could get up on stage would play.
You've continued to examine Monk's music, and in 2006 you recorded Memories of Tea. It's got all the Monk compositions, arrangements by Don Sickler, 4 horns, guitar, no piano.
Yeah.
Why no piano?
Well, we decided to use the guitar, and there was no monk there, so we didn't have nobody that could really justify playing the music.
Are you playing out much these days?
When I can play. It's just that I've got to be careful and move slower. But that has nothing to do with the music. See, it makes me learn from playing with Thelonious. I had to learn how to do it a different way.
Well, Ben Riley, I want to thank you for swinging all these years, keeping time for Thelonious Monk, and keeping his memory alive, and all the great music that you have made.
Thank you.
Talking with jazz drummer Ben Riley about his days with Thelonious Monk. Monk is still beloved in New Orleans as well. So we'll say goodbye on this program dedicated to timekeepers and rhythm makers with Monk's The Bright Mississippi, played by pianist Alan Toussaint. American Roots is produced at Tulane University's School of Liberal Arts. Our program is underwritten by a major grant from the National Endowment for the Humanities and from the National Endowment for the Arts, as well as Offbeat, America's Roots music magazine at offbeat.com. American Roots associate producer is Garrett Pittman. Assistant producer is Nina Feldman. Technical director is Jason Ryan. Lauren Callahan is development associate, and Ken Mills is manager of station relations. Production assistants are Olivia Broslowski, Tyler Michael, and Gregory LeBlanc. All American Roots programs stream from our website, americanroots.org, where you can also support the program. I'm Nick Spitzer. Until that time, for American Roots from PRX.
Walkaways with William Finnegan, author of the Pulitzer Prize-winning memoir Barbarian Days. It almost makes me want to give surfing another try, but there's no way I'm going to. Folks, that's it for today. If you do any water sports or other pointless, absurd, risky activities, please wear a helmet, get some insurance, and obey the speed limit. Next week on the New Yorker Radio Hour, we'll hear from another newly minted winner of the Pulitzer Prize, television critic Emily Newspeck. I'm David Remnick. Have a great week.
The New Yorker Radio Hour is a co-production of WNYC Studios and The New Yorker. Our theme music was composed and performed by Merrill Garbus of Tune Yards, with additional music this week from Paul Schneider. This episode was produced by Emily Botein, Ave Carrillo, Rhiannon Corby, Jill Duboff, Karen Frillman, David Krasnow, Sharon Mashihi, Sarah Nix, Paul Schneider, and Stephen Valentino, with help from Owen Agnew, Becky Cooper, and Matt Fiddler. The New Yorker Radio Hour is supported in part by the Churina Endowment Fund.
WNYC receives support from City National Bank Wealth Planning, providing investment management, trust, and financial planning services to clients throughout New York. More information at cnb.com/NYC.
Stay tuned. Snap Judgment is coming up next on 93.9 FM and on AM 820 it's Innovation Hub. And tune in tomorrow. Presidential candidates aren't talking much about paid family leave, but voters are. From paternity leave to leave for a dying parent. Tomorrow on Morning Edition, hear the debate around taking time off to take care of family. Join us for that story and all the information you need to start your day tomorrow on Morning Edition. Rain is likely for the rest of tonight. Patchy fog too, otherwise cloudy skies with a low around 48. Right now, 48 and cloudy in Central Park at 8 o'clock.
This is WNYC, FM, HD, and AM, New York. Just keep listening.
Google Maps, GPS systems, infrared satellite imaging services. We don't just think we know where we are anymore. No. We think we know where everything is. That the mystery is gone and the age of exploration is long past. Well, I've got news. They couldn't be more wrong. And today on Snap Judgment from WNYC and NPR, we're going to show you that Google doesn't know everything, especially not the way to Shangri-La. And get ready, because right after this short break, that's exactly where we're going. Snap Judgment, storytelling with the beat. Stay tuned.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Janine Herbst. Secretary of State John Kerry is in Geneva in an effort to resuscitate a ceasefire in Syria. NPR's Ada Peralta reports that Kerry is once again turning to Russia.
As he arrived in Geneva, Secretary Kerry told reporters that he was already talking directly with the Russians. Russia is Syria's strongest ally, so Kerry said his hope is that the country can convince the regime of Bashar al-Assad to stop its bombing campaign. Back in February, Kerry and his Russian counterpart helped craft the ceasefire in the 5-year-old conflict. The truce has since frayed. The London-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights says at least 246 civilians have been killed in Aleppo since April 22nd. The organization counted almost 900 civilian deaths across Syria last month. Kerry said these are, quote, critical hours for international negotiations. Ada Peralta, NPR News.
In Iraq, protesters are leaving Baghdad's Green Zone after organizers called on them to end their mass demonstrations in the heavily fortified district. The followers of Shiite cleric Muqtada al-Sadr have been in a square near the Parliament building, which they stormed yesterday, demanding government reforms. May Day marches across the U.S. today included calls for the Supreme Court to help immigrants. McCormack of Wisconsin Public Radio reports that thousands marched in Milwaukee.
Many of those who gathered to walk the 2 miles from a Latino neighborhood to Milwaukee's downtown said they want the U.S. Supreme Court to uphold President Obama's 2014 immigration order.
A key part of that plan would delay deportation of millions of parents of lawful citizens. High school student Angel Padilla said a high court ruling against the president would violate a key principle of the U.S.
Immigrants are what America was based on, and America is just taking that for granted.
Conservative leaders in Wisconsin and about 24 other states claim the president's executive order exceeded his authority. The Supreme Court decision is expected by the end of next month. For NPR News, I'm Chuck Quirmbach in Milwaukee.
Indiana holds its primary this Tuesday, and presidential candidates are campaigning for voters in that state today. At a rally in Indianapolis today, Hillary Clinton told the crowd she's the only presidential candidate who can handle major issues.
Can this person produce positive results that are actually going to improve people's lives? Can this person keep us safe here at home, protect Americans, and lead the world? And can this person unite our country?
And Bernie Sanders is acknowledging his path to the Democratic presidential nomination depends on flipping superdelegates. The party insiders who can back either candidate but are now overwhelmingly behind Hillary Clinton. Sanders is calling on those superdelegates to cast their votes to be, as he says, in line with the people of their states. This is NPR News from Washington.
And this is WNYC in New York. I'm Sean Carlson. Firefighters are battling a 3-alarm fire at a historic church in Manhattan. The fire broke out early this evening at the Serbian Orthodox Cathedral of St. Sava on West 25th Street. Smoke from the heavy fire could be seen billowing from the Gothic-style building. There have been no reports of injuries. The church was constructed in the early 1850s and was designated a New York City landmark in 1968. Today is Easter in the Orthodox Church. After more than 6 years without a raise, CUNY faculty will start voting tomorrow on whether to authorize a strike. Barbara Bowen is president of the Professional Staff Congress, representing 25,000 CUNY faculty and staff. She says particularly hard hit are the adjunct professors who are paid by the course and teach many of the classes on the various campuses.
They're living on $27,000, $26,000 a year in New York City. Some of them are people with PhDs. That's a really exploitative situation.
A yes vote won't necessarily mean a strike. It would give the union the power to call for a walkout if